Hey guys, it's Jesse W with Hustle with Jesse W coming at you today with a recap of today's day trade. Today's day trade wasn't anything to write home about. It wasn't anything huge. It wasn't as nice as yesterday's trading. Today was a little bit more of a difficult morning. There was a lot of stuff popping up, making basically the crowds be a little bit more scattered. We had NVLN, AETI, SFET. That was extremely low float stock that was making some big moves, but it was a little bit too wild for me. I was watching it for an entry, but just didn't like it. I mean, that stock dropped at one point from $9.13 to $8 in 1 second. We're talking about 1 second. That was like a dollar move. It was just like a flash thing there, and then it stayed floating in the mid eights. That's just crazy, when you can lose 50 cents to a dollar so quickly. If you have even 500 shares, you're talking about losing 500 bucks in a second. Because I mean, you got to stop out at some point, right? Well, anyways, today's trade was a very simple trade. It was AETI again, same stock from yesterday. We were watching this, and I was actually watching and bidding right around in here at 135 at $1.35, right ahead of this VWAP crossover with the 9 EMA. As the 9 EMA, that blue line started to cross over, I was putting out a bid right around here, and as you can see, it hit 136 on this candle, and just made that push right back up here to visit the high of day. And at that point, I canceled out my bid, which is at 150, 135. Sorry, I had my bid out at 135, and I was looking for this move. I was looking exactly for this kind of move. If I would have had my 135 fill and we would have had this move, I would have been extremely happy, extremely happy. But we didn't get it. So my next plan I was looking for, I was no longer interested in it after this action. I was looking for it to actually break over 150, which was yesterday's highs. You can see here on this 15-minute chart, we were high yesterday at 155. I was looking for it to break that area on the highest volume of the day, which coincidentally is the highest volume period on this 15-minute chart. We had that break right here, and this was the highest volume. Then I waited for a pullback. I waited for that pullback right back down here to test. Once it tapped that 150 area and it started to push off of it, I immediately jumped in at 154, almost 155 basically. You can see here my orders. These were my canceled orders on the 135 bids earlier when they didn't get filled. So I actually got in at that pullback 154 and sold as it popped back over to 162. My target was 165 to 170. I was probably going to get flat at 165, but we made that push and we were having a hard time getting through that one. What was it? That one getting back up to that 165. There was a big seller there at 164. So I just got out right there at 162. I was risking 5 cents because my stop was going to be 150. I was risking 5 cents for the chance at making 10 cents. I ended up making roughly right around 8 cents. So not too bad per share. So that's not too bad at all. And I actually did record this trade live. And if you don't mind bearing with me there, we might be able to pick up on it here. Let's see. Here I was looking at AETI. I was going to check to see if there was any fib retracement levels there for us that we can use. We might have had the 23.6, I'm not sure, but the 38.2 wasn't there. It wasn't doing anything. The 23.6 doesn't pop up on E-Trade. I don't know why. It's extremely annoying. This is where I was trying to bid that 135 earlier. As you can see, I have 135 on here. So I was trying to bid that earlier. So now I'm just looking for that potential entry on a pullback. I'm going to fast forward this. I'm not quite sure where. There we go. Okay, so let's pull this back in a little bit. You'll see that pull in. It's a quick pull in on light volume, very important. You see that light volume there. And I'm there hovering over the buy button, 155. Looks like I clicked it already. And now I get ready to mark it out in case if we get any sort of nasty pullback that I don't like. I like to, stop out. I'd rather take a loss and come back on the next trade, come back the next day, whenever it is, and make that loss back than hold the bag. You don't want to hold the bag. So now I get ready here. See, I'm inputting that order just to get out on that 165 area. If we pop over 165, I'll hit the sell and just get out to take my profit. My target, my risk reward is risking 5 cents to make 10 cents, maybe a little bit more. I didn't get to make the 10 cents plus, but I did make close to 8 cents. And the reason I didn't get to make that extra, uh, that extra target over 10 cents or over is just because I'm watching the level 2 here. And you can see 164, we had that 11K bidder. I'm sorry, that 11K seller right there. And then we had, where is it? It keeps fluctuating here, so obviously you can't see it. Now we don't even see 164. So we had that action going on there. And let's fast forward here a little bit more. Then we're creeping back up to the 160s. See, we keep hitting those 160s and coming back down. And that kind of always makes me a little nervous, even though the volume wasn't bad, so it wasn't like a huge selling pressure, but it does make me a little weary there. We start, next candle. These are 3-minute candles, by the way, so when the next candle starts to form, I do like that it's a higher low. And we're back up in the 160s, and we have a 161 12K seller, a 164 10K seller, and then we have a 165 17K seller right there. So we have all those sellers. It's kind of building up a bit of a wall. Those are probably maybe shorts trying to get up in there. And I decide to just get out. I get out there once we have that 162. I get out of this position and take my profit on the day. It was a decent trade. Another green day. Yesterday was a green day. Today's another green day, and I am happy with what happened. We did end up pushing, as you can see here. This chart is live right now. We did end up pushing, going all the way up to 172. I probably would have stopped, gotten out right there, 165 to that 170 area, but we did retrace back down here again towards this VWAP area in the 140s. But if this stock, wants to have a good chance at moving on up, we're going to want it to hold over 155. So this stock needs to break back over 155, hold this as support, and make another move if you want to see another breakout. Whoops. But anyways, guys, that was it. That was my one trade for the day. I'm not going to do these recaps every single day just because this channel isn't only about stock trading. But I will do them. I will do them periodically. Tomorrow the stock market is closed as we observe uh, uh, George Bush Sr. that passed away in his mid 90s. I think he was like 94, 95 years old. So tomorrow the stock market will be closed. We will not be open. Stock market will be back open on Thursday and Friday, and we'll see how the rest of the week goes. It kind of breaks up the stock market in the middle of the week. It's kind of hard, kills momentum, but it is what it is. So that's what we did today. That's how we made a few extra bucks today. Currently up on the week, a little bit over $300. I'm trading small size, as you've seen. 500 shares, 1,000 shares, a couple thousand shares, just depending on the volatility of the stock and my risk. I don't trade each trade with the same amount of share size because each trade has a different risk. All right, guys, until the next video, hope you're having a great Tuesday. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.